Welcome to Life Notes, and thank you for joining us. Have you ever hit a wall? Have you ever been confronted by something that seemed to stop you in your tracks? It just seemed like there was nothing that you could do to make the wall go away. It was there, right in your face, and you had to deal with it. The problem was that you couldn't get your arms around it. You couldn't get it to go away no matter what you did. It was a wall you couldn't penetrate. Maybe you or someone you know is facing that kind of a situation today. Or maybe you just want to prepare yourself for the day you will face your wall. Let's think about how to react when you hit the wall in your life. One of the things we realize right off is that most of the time we hit a wall that we didn't know was coming. We turn around and smack. Right there you hit the wall. Maybe you're sitting in a doctor's office and she tells you that you have what could be a terminal illness. Or you go home and you go to dinner and your spouse tells you that he wants a divorce. Maybe you go to the mailbox to find a letter telling you that someone has placed a lien against your house for an unpaid bill. Or maybe you've gotten a call and one of your children has been in a terrible accident that has left them paralyzed. These are walls. They're big, life-threatening walls, and you can't make them disappear. You must deal with them. So where do you start? No matter who you are, you begin by trying to reorient yourself to this new reality. You've got to get your mind and body and your spirit under control. You see, when you're confronted by a threatening situation, your body adapts automatically. You don't have to tell it to react. Your eyes widen, your heart beats faster, your muscles tighten, even your blood vessels contract, and you turn white as a ghost. Depending on the severity of your situation and your emotional preparedness for it, your mind will either race to process the new information or it will go numb from the overload. Now, what about your spirit? Again, depending on your advanced preparation, you may react with times of questions and doubt and fear, or you may respond in faith. In extreme, you may turn from accessing your spiritual strength to rely more on your physical and your mental resources. Whatever you think of how you will respond, you must admit that life walls can be a challenge to the best of people. If we're to survive them and go on with our life, we've got to get a hold of ourselves and commit to moving forward, overcoming the wall that we've just run into. Once you recognize that this life wall is more than that you can handle on your own, you got to look outside of yourself for help. Now, in my life, I have discovered that the greatest help comes from God. I read something the other day that may be helpful at this point. Listen to this. Unless there is within us that which is above us, we will soon yield to that which is around us. You see, the pressure will simply overwhelm us unless we find the inner strength to withstand it. And when your inner strength is insufficient, you need God's help. Let me give you 2 Bible verses that you may want to write down and keep for that next encounter with a life wall. Paul was writing to Timothy, who was facing all kinds of problems. He said, God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. Then here's another one from Paul. He said, we are afflicted in every way, but not crushed, perplexed, but not driven to despair, persecuted, but not forsaken, struck down, but not destroyed. Listen, when you hit a wall, it's going to hurt. You're going to think, I don't know if I can survive this. And that's when you really need to get your eyes off the wall in front of you and look to the God who is over you. Mentally, that means you will need to focus your mind on the promises of God. Listen, stay away from sad music. Listen to uplifting spiritual songs. Go to a church that's Bible-centered, Spirit-filled, life-lifting worship. Let me tell you something that I know for sure. If you sit alone thinking about your problems, that wall's going to come crashing down on you. So don't be a victim. Let God give you the victory. But listen, friend, you've got to get up and get going. You'll confront this crisis better if you are surrounded by caring people who love you and who are committed to helping you get past this life challenge. And obviously, the best support group you can have is a loving family. Now, certainly there are those who have survived and even prospered without a strong family, but they have a greater challenge than those who have a family. They got to go it alone. I thank God for the wonderful family that I'm blessed to be a part of. It's made a huge difference in my life, particularly when I've faced those life walls. So, my encouragement is to stay close to your family. If you don't have a family, get a small group of close friends. I think much of the challenge that we face as a nation is because of the breakdown of many family units. Now, in addition to the family, you need to stay close to your church. If you don't have one, you need to get one. I've already talked about the need for regular church involvement. You see, church is not only important for spiritual growth, it also provides a vital social support group. Both the spiritual and the social benefits are increased when you connect with mature Christians with whom you can sit and talk. So just don't walk in and walk out. Get connected with mature believers. In a smaller church, this may be possible to talk to the pastor, but whomever it is, you need someone with whom you can connect on a regular basis, because you're going to need spiritual support when the darkness and the pain get unbearable. One of the reasons I began today by talking about the spiritual component of surviving a life wall is because many walls involve the spiritual, either in their cause or their effect. I strongly encourage you not to ignore your spiritual life in confronting life walls. But most walls are not just matters of the soul. They also involve the physical, mental challenges, relationship difficulties, financial crises, any number of other challenges. And because of that, you need to be connecting with the most qualified people you can find to help you deal with your situation. When I was confronted with stage 4 cancer almost 40 years ago, I went weeks trying to deal with the pain and the difficulties caused by the disease until finally, at the encouragement of a doctor friend, I sought medical advice. And I was fortunate enough to be diagnosed and treated by excellent doctors. But my point is, when you face a life wall that you cannot overcome by yourself, you need God, your family, and church, and you need to reach out to those who can help, including trained professionals when it's appropriate. Friend, don't try to go it alone. Now, here's one more thing I have learned. You need to take the road to recovery one step at a time, trusting God to work it out each and every day. When you're in the midst of the mess, it's hard to see how God can use everything for your good, but He will. We must trust Him. There'll be twists and turns. The future won't be the same as the past. It will be different, and by God's grace, it will be better. But you can't give up. Don't listen to the doubters and stop comparing yourself to others. Stand before that life wall like Joshua and Jericho. Trust the Lord. He'll bring the wall down and He'll give you the victory. Now, when He does, remember to give Him the glory. Think about these things. I'll be praying for you. God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.